Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Draft League video. This time I'll be going over my run for the Smogon ORAS Cup. Just like the kickoff tour, which I uploaded on the channel, Smogon partnered with Draft League and is running single elimination tours for Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 8 as well, and then they're going to do this whole classic thing for like the top 16 players, I think. So pretty cool. And I decided to sign up because I don't have a lot of experience in Gen 6. I played most of my games in PWS Season 2. Then I played like 4 or 5 in the Trick House season after, and then I played a couple in DPL. So yeah, about 15 to 20 games. So I don't have a lot of experience. I just wanted to, get some more experience in it. Because it definitely is a fun format, especially more than Gen 7 in my opinion. So yeah, anyway, draft pools of 8 again. I got 7th pick because, never lucky. I believe I had 6th or 7th in the kickoff as well, so we're not gonna get a good pick, trust me. Anyways, 7th pick, I was hoping for Mew or Clefable to drop, or maybe even Torn, but neither of those options dropped. In fact, my pool was one of the few pools that first picked Clefable, which was really sad. Anyway, I ended up with Mega Lopunny because it just felt like the best option remaining on the board at the time, because I didn't really want to take Sand, and I didn't really want to take Manaphy without Torn, so I felt like Lopunny just got me the speed right away. And then I decided to pair it with Zapdos, so kind of building on my PWS Season 2 team, the one I spammed the most, which is also based around Mega Lopunny Zapdos, and I feel like Zapdos is one of the best pivots in ORAS because it has recovery, it has really good defensive typing, it can still hit hard, it has static for paralysis, it has defog, U-turn or Volt Switch, whatever. Yeah, I think Zapdos is amazing, and the pivoting potential is obviously really good. Next up, I decided to get Serperior to bridge the speed gap between Lopunny and Zapdos. Serperior is also really good in ORAS. It's a really good Scarfer. Glare is broken as well. And yeah, it's like just a solid mon. It has Queens as well, Taunt, Hidden Power Fire for, the resist to Leaf Storm. Yeah, just really good mon in general. Then next up, I decided to get a Klefki, which is one of the best spike setters in ORAS. Also provides the Steel and Fairy Force, which is really cool. Then Klefki obviously also has the Prankster T-Way, which is really good, because, paralysis is broken this gen, and then can also do other shenanigans like screens, or tricking Lagging Tail or Iron Ball, or Fairy Lock, Heal Block. It has a bunch of stuff it can do. Next up, I decided to get my Ground type and Rocker and Rhyperior because we didn't have Rocks till now, and ORAS is the gen where Hazards rule supreme, so you definitely want your Rocks. I was debating between Seismitoad and Rhyperior, and I decided Rhyperior was like a better mon, mostly because it like forces mon to run coverage for it. Because like if they run HP Fire to hit the Klefki and Serp, right? They're not hitting the Rhyperior as hard, and they probably need coverage for it. Otherwise, Rhyperior can definitely, trade 1-for-1 because Solid Rock's a really good ability, and Rhyperior is like no passive mon. It has a monstrous attack, so it can be bulky and still hit hard. It can also set up with SD and Rock Polish, which is really cool. Next up, I decided to roll compress a little bit and get Drapion to cover my poison and dark. I don't think Drapion's a very good mon, but I just kind of needed him to roll compress on this team. He does provide us with knockoff, which is really good to get rid of items. T-Spike support for Lopunny and Serperior as well. Pursuit, although it's not the best Pursuit Trapper in the world because it's so weak. It can set up, I guess, but again, it's not the best at that kind of thing. Next up, I decided to get War Turtle as my 1-pointer. Just felt like it was the best option for my team because I didn't have a water, and it also gives me a spinner. War Turtle's a little better than the other cheap water types because, one, it's not passive because it has Seismic Toss to do consistent damage. It has Haze as well to like stop setup, and then Rapid Spin and like Rest or whatever, right? Toxic. You don't need to have an attacking move that actually does damage. So I think War Turtle's okay. I don't think he'll come to a lot of games, but he's a lot better than the other one-pointers in my opinion. And then lastly, I decided to get KYUREM-BLACK. KYUREM-BLACK is a little slept on in ORAS, I feel. In Gen 7 or USUM, it's like really popular, right? Because it's one of the best breakers, and Z Free Shock has no switch-ins. And obviously there's more removal in USUM, so you can support it easier. But in Gen 6, it's weak to all kinds of hazards. It is weak to a lot of common typings, and like Steel and Fairy and Dragon and Rock, right? So it's a little tough because usually you want KYUREM to come in and abuse the waters, but it's tough if you can't, you know, switch in easily because of all the hazards, and then obviously Burn's more broken this gen as well. So yeah, KYUREM's a little like slept on in that regard because of all those issues, but I thought he could be cool on this team because most of my team so far is one-dimensional, and I thought KYUREM-BLACK can offer a different dimension because it can be special, it can be physical. We have a lot of T-Wave support to make things slower than KYUREM-BLACK, which is another big thing holding it back. Because, you know, Scarf sets are not as good because the removal's bad, so you don't get as many opportunities. So this helps with that. So yeah, I think he can be cool, and hopefully works out. Anyway, we were put into battle pools of 4 where top 2 qualify and go on to the single elimination bracket. So let's jump into that. Our round 1 opponent was Ruffles, who has a team of Bishop, Superior, Zygarde, Jirachi, Skarmory, Volcarona, and I'm pretty sure he had a Mega Sableye because I'm just going to go over my prep, and I'm pretty sure I prepped with a Mega Sableye in mind. So starting up, we have Zapdos with Rocky Helmet. Pretty offensive though, because he didn't really have the best switch-ins on, like if you see. Nothing on his team really wants to come in on Zapdos. So Discharge, Ancient Power, Hidden Power, Ice, and Roost hits his entire team. I debated Heat Wave for like Bishop, Skarmory, Bishop, Jirachi, but I feel like just spamming Discharge to get the Para is probably enough. So yeah, that's the Zapdos, Rocky Helmet just to come in on like Jirachi if it's like Scarf Ironhead or whatever. Come in on Bisharp if needed. Next up, I have Rhyperior with the Rindo Berry. And I'm running Sub, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Sword Stance. Within, like, the speed is just to make sure Mega Sableye is not faster. The point of this is, I sub on, like, the Mega Sableye as he tries to Wisp or whatever, and then I can SD. And then Earthquake plus Fire Punch hits his whole team. The Rindo was for the Volcarona because I don't really have the best switch-ins to Volcarona. And he does have a Mega Sableye, so I might not be able to get Rock Sub to chip it that way. So with this, I'm pretty sure I live a +1 Giga Drain pretty easily, even from Modest. And I can KO back with Earthquake. Or if not, just put it in range of like Fake Out into Quick Attack. So yeah, again, Rhyperior I just think can definitely pressure his team. Can, like, Skarmory should not be able to break Sub and stuff, right? So next up we have Lopunny with double priority in Fake Out Quick Attack Facade just in case I get burned by Flame Body or the Sableye, and then High Jump Kick to hit everything else. I believe it was just enough speed for the Superior. Next up I have KYUREM-BLACK with the Never Melting Ice, so to boost Ice type attacks. And running Ice Beam, Earth Power, Rock Tomb, and Roost, even with a modest nature. Ice Beam and Earth Power hits his old team. The only Ice resist on the team are Jirachi and Bisharp, which don't like the Earth Power. We have enough speed for Adam and Bisharp, so we are hitting 240, I believe. And the rest is just put into bulk. The Spidef, more Spidef for the Volcarona. I believe we live a +1 Flamethrower after Rocks, if I'm not wrong. And the Rock Tomb was just for the Volcarona. Slow it down. Even with negative attack, it still does a ton. And then Roost for longevity. Next up, I have a Ready Spidef Drapion with Knockoff, Poison Fang, Taunt, and Earthquake. Taunt is to stop Skarmory from like spiking. Knockoff to get rid of items. Poison Fang is just to hit the Sableye and try to get a poison on it if possible, in case it's like Calm Mind. And Earthquake just hits the Bisharp and Jirachi. So yeah, pretty Spidef, this is a Serp check. Next up, our own Superior, which is also pretty bulky, which should be our Zygarde check. And we're running Glare, Leaf Storm, Synthesis, Hidden Power, Fire. Glare to like stop threats, you know, like Volcarona, Zygarde, Jirachi, whatever. Leaf Storm Synthesis just as like stab in for longevity, and then Hidden Power Fire I thought just covered his team the best. So yeah. As for leads, I was going to lead Kyurem because I thought I led pretty well into his whole team as he leads Skarmory. I decided to just click Ice Beam here. If he switched into one of his steel types, they would take a chunk and I could try to scout the set. But he reels to be fast Skarmory because I'm 240 speed, so he was really fast, which means he doesn't have the bulk. So he just straight up dies to the Ice Beam. Obviously, Terra Volt ignores sturdy, so that wouldn't matter. So the Skarmory's dead, but he does get up rocks, which is a little annoying. In comes the Volcarona, and because I'm at full, I'm just going to stay in a rock tomb. As in comes the Serp, and this was something I didn't know. The Terra Volt block contrary from working too, which was pretty cool. So I was like, oh, the Serp is now slower, so I can just Ice Beam this too. As I'm able to Ice Beam and do a good chunk to the Jirachi, so I was like, okay, that's not Spit F Jirachi, right? Because that did a lot of damage. And here I decide to switch into the Zapdos as he doubles into Serp. And I didn't want to get toxic to whatever on the Zapdos, so I just double into Drapion, which is my Serp check. As he clicks Taunt, which is fine, because now I can click the knockoff. As he clicks Reflect and reveals to be Light Play, so he's the screen's Taunt Leaf Storm set, I guess. As he clicks the white screen now, as I just click Poison Fang, fishing for poison. He clicks Taunt again, but I just click Knock, trying to waste the screen turns. And he clicks Leaf Storm now, as you can see, it only does 16%, so I just click Knock again. Basically trying to get rid of the item of whatever wants to come in if he decides to swap. He clicks Leaf Storm again, but we should live the next one still, as I click Poison Fang and get the poison finally. And here, I believe I clicked Knock again. Yeah, I clicked Knock as he misses his Leaf Storm, which is a little unfortunate, but we do live this. But I guess Drapion would be lower, so sorry for that. In comes Zygarde, and they still Reflect up, so I clicked Taunt. As he reveals to be sub, I was like, okay, I clicked Taunt to just stop any shenanigans. And I believe I just clicked Knock off here, but he's able to click Earthquake and take us out, which is fine. I go into my Serpent and just click Leaf Storm, as I am faster. As he clicks Outrage, and because we are bulky, we live pretty easily. And now he's trapped, so I can just Leaf Storm again to take him out. Which is pretty good. In comes the Volk, and I just decide to glare it, not gonna mess around with this threat. As he gets fully paired, as I said, Gen 6 para is brutal. So yeah, again, sorry to my opponent. And here I just click Hidden Power Fire and get a crit as he gets fully paired. So again, really unfortunate for my opponent, and I'm able to click HP Fire and take it out again. So the Serp is putting in more work than I thought it would. In comes the Bisharp, I just glare him again as he clicks SD, and then I click the Hidden Power Fire as he clicks the Sucker Punch and takes us out. I go into my Rapier, and I don't know why I didn't click Sub here. It was literally free, because he's probably clicking Sucker Punch, right? And then I can Earthquake after. But I don't know why, I just click Earthquake as he goes for the Sucker and gets fully paired. I would have lived the Sucker Punch, but that really sucks for him as well, because again, he would have gotten chip on the Rapier. In comes the Jirachi, and I go into Zapdos. As he clicks the Iron Defense, I was like, okay, cool. And then clicks the Calm Mind. As I click the Discharge, get the para, and crit him. So, really unfortunate for my opponent. I can't. This game was wild, right? I'm able to Discharge and take him out again. I think because he was Calm Mind, Iron Defense, I don't know if he didn't have a move for Drapion, or if he, I don't know what last two moves he had, but if I get the para with Zapdos and I'm able to keep him low, I might still have it with the Kyurem plus Lop. I'm not 100% sure. It depends on what moves he had and when I got the para. But because I got the para right away and the crit, it was basically over. But again, I apologize to my opponent. I did brutally hacks him, and yeah, really sorry. Hopefully you could have had a cleaner game. I don't know if I still had it or not. I feel like Kyurem was really good with everything paired, but I don't know. Maybe it didn't win. Maybe the Jirachi won, depending on the moveset. But hey, we take those and move on, right? Next up, I was playing somebody named Y Parahax, who has a pretty scary team as well. Of Tornado Stee, Nido King, Mega Scizor, Terrakion, Starmie, and the Tangrowth. I don't remember what else they had. I think they had the Spiritomb and Wigglytuff, so I guess this is the expected 6. Anyways, for this one, I'm running another Zapdos with Heatwave, Discharge, Roost, and U-Turn. We have Spadef with enough speed for modest Nidoking, so we're hitting 270, I believe. So the point of this is we can be faster than Nidoking and Roost up if needed, or, you know, make him the 50-50 on whether he's gonna click between like him clicking Ice Beam and Sludge Wave or Earth Power. Because even if I didn't have the defense EVs, I still checked Scizor pretty easily with my typing. So that was pretty cool. Heatwave hits like everything that Discharge doesn't. And like I didn't really feel the need for extra sensory. I thought U-turn was just better to get in like KYUREM or whatever. Being Spadef also helps me check non-analytic Starmie, which is really good. Next up, I have a Cobra Berry Serperior with enough speed for the Terrakion and Release Storm, Hidden Power Fire, Glare, Giga Drain. The Cobra Berry is just, I think the Torn is the most likely switch into the Serp, and I can Glare it with my Cobra Berry because I can live, and I believe I'll live a Heat Wave too, so I can just Glare the Torn, which is really good for me. And yeah, Hidden Power Fire is for the Tangrowth plus Scizor, and then Giga Drain was just for a more reliable hit into Terrakion if needed. Next up, I have a Choppleberry KYUREM with max special attack and a lot of Spadef. Again, the Spadef was for like taking Torn and Starmie hits a little better. Choppleberry is for the Terrakion. I don't think he's gonna click Rock move when Klefki switching is probably the most likely. So I think he's just gonna CC, which I'll be able to live and then kill him with Earth Power. Ice Beam, Hidden Power Fire hits everything else. Because KYUREM is naturally bulky, we do live a Bullet Punch after Rocks too for Mega Scizor, which is pretty cool. So yeah, pretty standard set, hits everything really hard. Next up, I have a Choppleberry Rhyperior as well, with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Fire Punch, and Stone Edge. Fire Punch hits the Scizor and Tangrowth really hard, Earthquake hits everything else, and then Stone Edge hits the Torn, and Rocks, because Rocks are broken. And the Choppleberry is once again, for the Terrakion. Next up we have Klefki with the Rocky Helmet, max HP, max defense. Not sure what this is for. I guess this is for an early Terrakion if needed, just to get some chip. And I'm running Reflect to help with his physical threat because I don't really have the best Terrakion switch-ins or Scizor. Fairy Lock to trap something as I die, so you know, KYUREM or Serp or Rapier or something can take it out, or Lopunny. Spikes, because again, spikes are broken. And Dazzling Gleam, just because it seemed like the best move to hit everything else. And then I have Mega Lopunny with I am Adamant Lopunny, so I think I was Speed Creeping, Torn, Creeping Serp. Max attack, obviously, and then Healing Wish, Fire Punch, Return, Rain Punch. Fire Punch hits the Scizor, Return hits everything else, except the Terrakion, which Drain Punch hits, and then Healing Wish to bring back KYUREM or whatever, like Zapdos or Rhyperior if needed. So yeah, let's jump into it. Once again, I was going to lead... this time I decided to lead Zapdos and not KYUREM because Torn is just a, you know, very likely lead into most matchups. So I just wanted to lead Zapdos, or in case he tried to let Scizor to get his Mega off early or whatever, or if he let Starmie. So I thought Zapdos was just like, seemed really good. The only bad lead for it was like Terrakion. So I was like, oh, I can just go Klefki on the Terrakion, right? So not the end of the world. So I just U-turn and go into KYUREM because he's probably clicking Ice Beam if he's attacking the Zapdos, or he's clicking T-Spike, or Rock, so I'm able to get in before that. And now I fire off the Ice Beam. As in comes the Scizor, he's not Mega, so he takes a chunk. And now I just stay in and click HP Fire. I'm at full, he cannot kill me. And he's not spit out, so he's just dead. So that's epic. In comes the Terrakion, I'm at full. If he's Scarf, Stone Edge didn't even kill unless he crit. So I was like, but he's more likely to click CC because, you know, my clef keys most likely switch in here. So I decided to stay in and just click Earth Power as I'm able to chew up that CC. As you can see, it wouldn't have even killed if I didn't have Chop. I would have done 88, right? So I'm able to just Earth Power and take him out. So the KYUREM has already taken out 2 kills. In comes the Torn, and I was really surprised because like Torn doesn't kill me either, but I guess he didn't have any other options. So I'm able to just eat the Hurricane. He was Life Orb, and Ice Beam and take it out. So KYUREM has taken out 3 kills already, right? It's turn 5. This is looking great. In comes the Starmie, and this is where I misplay by sacking my KYUREM. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done this because if I could Healing Wish my KYUREM, for one. And then if I get in on Starmie, if I get in on Tangrowth or Nidoking, Ice Beam is a kill, right? Because Starmie is not like the best switch into it. But yeah, I sacked my KYUREM there. I don't know why. I feel like I should have saved the sack. But I guess in my mind I was like, oh, if I bring him back, he's gonna get poisoned anyway, and then I die. So it's like I can just sack him and get my free switch into Zapdos here. As he goes into Nidoking, as I just U-turn and go into Lopunny, and decide to click Return, as he does go into Tangrowth, and takes it on pretty easily. He's not Helmet, so he's most likely AB, because he also was not Leftovers. So here I decide to go into Clef Key to get up my spikes as he clicks the Giga Drain. I was expecting Knockoff, but Giga Drain works too. And I click Spikes as the Nidoking comes in. I go into Zapdos as he clicks Flamethrower and does 33, which is fine. And I click U-turn again and go into Clef Key as he clicks the Sludge Wave. Maybe I should have just stayed in and click Heat Wave to chip this down more into return range. But this turn I decided to click Fairy Lock as I die, because this Nidoking was kind of annoying and I wanted to get rid of him. So I click Return here, but I do not kill, so he was bulky, so I guess I miscalculated this a little bit. I mean, I wasn't calcing, but in my head, like my head calcs were wrong. I thought it would die, but it doesn't kill, which is really unfortunate because I kind of needed this gone. I needed my Lopunny around for Starmie. So a couple of misplays and now it's evened up to 3-3, but I go into my Syrup and then again chicken out and don't click Leaf Storm, because I didn't want to miss and lose my Syrup, so I just clicked the Giga Drain. In comes the Tangrowth, and it would have helped now to have been boosted already, so I'm forced to boost up now. As I Leaf Storm, as he clicks the Knockoff, which is fine, and I click Hidden Power now, as he clicks the Sludge Bomb and takes me out. In my mind, I thought Zapdos had already won because the last 2 ones was Starmie and Tangrowth. But here I decided to go Rhyperior. I know I'm faster than this because of how little it took from like Leaf Storm, and I'm able to Fire Punch and take him out. In comes the Starmie. I didn't want to switch hard Zapdos and get like burnt or whatever, so I just stay in and let the Rhyperior die. And I was like, okay, now I should win with Zapdos, right? He clicks the Reflect type, which I did not expect at all. And now I can't break this, so he beats me by virtue of me not being able to break him. And this goes on for some times, and he immediately realizes, calls the better play to get the burn. He gets the burn immediately. And because I'm not pressure, this is over. Because I cannot PP stall him. And he has like 16 recovers as well. Yeah, this just goes on for some time, and then I give up after a while because I can't beat this. So in hindsight, I shouldn't have sacked the KYUREM. I should have kept it around. But in my defense, I don't think Reflect type was as likely of a bring, right? Because in my head, I thought Ice Beam to hit the Syrup makes sense, and Zapdos. Scald to hit like Rhyperior, Lopunny, get burned. Recover for recovery makes sense. In my head, I thought it would be a Rapid Spin or a move to hit KYUREM with if it really wanted. I didn't really think Reflect type was the 4th move. So that's why I made the plays that I did, because I thought Zapdos already won. But see, again, this is on me. I assumed the set, which I shouldn't have. And definitely the better play was to keep KYUREM safe. I had switch-ins to like Clef Key or whatever, to spike up and see if he had spin or not, right? Or even Thunder Wave to see if he had Knack Cure or not. I had ways of pressuring, especially after the start I got, because I was up 3 months after turn 5 because of the work Kyurem put in. So I definitely misplayed, or I made assumptions about his sets which I shouldn't have, and I paid the price for that. I think even not heat waving the Nidoking was probably a mistake, because if I had Lopunny alive, that could have helped as well, right? So yeah, definitely a misplay by me, and we lose this close game 1-0, but not the end of the world because we're still 1-1 plus 3, I think. We won the first game plus 4, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play the last group stage game because my opponent forfeited because he had lost the first 2 games, so he was already out. And he didn't feel like playing, so fair enough. So I got the forfeit win, which means I'm 2-1 plus 6, and I qualified by virtue of better diff from the 3rd place guy. I think it was like 3 of us ended 2-1, but I had the 2nd best diff, which means I don't get the bye, so I have to play round 2, which is fine. We were up against someone named CJ25 or Siege25. No, his Discord was CJ. That's why I call him CJ. Anyway, here's a pretty scary team of Mega Altaria, Amoonguss, Weavile, Landorus T, Starmie, Magnezone. He had a Gramble on the bench too, which I thought could potentially come, but this 6 makes sense. Let's jump into our team. We have Roselli Berry Kyurem with Ice Beam, Earth Power, Shadow Ball, and Roost. Max Special Attack, pretty defensive, I believe, to live +1 return, or a regular return, I don't remember. But it was specific, or might have mean to live a... Maybe to take the hits from Lando better, I don't remember. The speed was outspeeding the Magnezone, so we're running 241. And then, yeah, Ice Beam hits everything except the Magnezone and Weavile, but Weavile still takes a ton from Ice Beam because it's frail. And I guess Starmie, but then we have Shadow Ball for the Starmie and Earth Power for the Magnezone, which hits everything, and then again, Roost for longevity. And again, Kyurem is naturally bulky, so we should be able to take hits again really easily. Next up, I have Lopunny with, this time with Jolly to outspeed Weavile. And we're running Return, Fake Out, Ice Punch, and Healing Wish. Return hits everything except the Magnezone, right? But the Magnezone is probably not staying in, so I didn't feel like I needed fighting coverage for it. And Fake Out's just in case the Altaria or Weavile or something gets out of hand. Ice Punch hits the Lando, Amoonguss, Altaria as well. And then Healing Wish once again to bring back Kyurem if needed. Next up, I have Klefki with the Rocky Helmet. Mostly Fist Def. We're running Thunder Wave, Spikes, Dazzling Gleam, and Hidden Power Ground. This is our Klefki check. So Rocky Helmet, because we're most likely going to get knocked, so we want to get as much damage off as possible. There's also Gen 6 where you can paralyze dark types with Prankster, which is pretty epic. This can also like check an Altaria that has already Megaed. If it has gotten out of hand, we can Thunder Wave it too. Dazzle just hits the Weavile and, you know, Altaria and stuff. And then Hidden Power Ground, just in case he brought his Magnezone and tried to trap me, I'm always gonna, if there's a Magnezone and I come in on Klefki, I'm clicking the hard HP Ground. In case he tries to trap me so his Weavile goes in. And so I can do a lot of damage, and then I think he doesn't kill me, like knock into specs, whatever doesn't kill me, so I can HP Ground and take him out still. So the Weavile still has to be like careful of Klefki, right? Because he's forced to swap because he doesn't want to take the T-Wave. Next up, I have Surf with Rocky Helmet and Pretty Fist Def as well. This is a Lando T-check. So we're running Leaf Storm, Hand Power, Fire, Synthesis, and Glare. I believe we just had enough speed for the Lando. Hidden Power Fire hits the Amoonguss and Magnezone, and Leaf Storm hits everything else. I know I don't hit the Altaria, so I just decided to Glare it because that's still good. Next up, I have a Safety Goggle Zapdos with Pretty Spadef. So this is our Magnezone check, our Starmie check, our Amoonguss check because we have Safety Goggles so it can't Spore us. Modest just to do a little more damage because again, he doesn't really switch into Zapdos, which is really funny. Static to get pairs if needed, and we'll switch Heatwave, HP Ice, and Roost. Initially I was Charty Berry for the Lando, but then I decided Surf was better in that role and Zapdos was needed for checking things Spadef wise. So yeah, that's our Spadef wall, and this is a Fist Def wall. And then we have Rhyperior with the Shuka Berry, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Stealth Rock, Sword Stance. Again, Ground plus Ice hits his whole team. Sugar Berry, because this is our check to the Altaria if it starts Dragon Dancing up. Sword Stance in case he's like Iron Defense, not Iron Defense, Corn Guard Altaria. And Rocks, because Rocks are good. And then Shuka, because the only way Altaria can hit us if it's physical is like Earthquake, like super effectively. It can also help versus Lando if needed, so I just went for that. So yeah, let's jump into it. As I said, once again, I was going to lead KYUREM because again, KYUREM is broken. He leaves Rewild. I don't want to take a banded low kick, so I just go into Klefki. As he does click low kick and only does 9 and takes the helmet. As I said, I was going to click Hidden Power Ground no matter what if I see a Magnezone. So I see it and I'm able to hit it super effectively, which is really good. I believe I clicked Hidden Power again as he makes... Oh, I clicked Spikes, so... I guess I expected the Volt Switch from him? I don't know. I don't know why I clicked Spikes, but I got up my Spikes because he swapped, right? So that works. In comes the Altaria, so I go into my Rhyperior as he stays in regular and DDs. And then he clicks Return as I believe I just clicked Rocks first. Oh no, I clicked Ice Punch because he had DD'd up, so he's a threat, so I can't really Rocks up. And my Ice Punch doesn't do anything, so I was a little shocked by that. I clicked Earthquake this time. As he DDs again and then returns and takes me out. So he was a pretty bulky DD Altaria, I guess, because he didn't take a lot from Ice Punch. I go into my Lop and just fake out. I think it was in fake out range. So yeah, I'm able to fake out. In comes the Starmie. That did a lot. And because the Amoonguss didn't come out, I thought this might be a lure with like Scarf. So I just go into Zapdos to scout as he clicks the Psychic. And here I believe I click Volt Switch. Yeah, as the Amoonguss comes in, so I was like, okay, cool, I get in my KYUREM for free, and I fire off the Ice Beam, as in comes the Weavile, takes Spikes, and this Ice Beam is, even though it's resistance, it's gonna hurt, so he can't do that again unless he spins the Spike away, which is good to know. I just go back into Klefki, which should wall this, as he clicks Low Kick again and takes the Helmet, which is fine, and I believe I clicked another Spike. Yep, as in comes the Lando, so I go back into my Surf. As he clicks Stone Edge and reads to be Life Orb, so I was like, okay, cool. And here I decide just click Synth to get back to full, as in comes the Starmie. Because I'm at full, I didn't think he could kill me with Ice Beam, so I decided to just click Leaf Storm, as the Starmie decides to spin the Spikes away, because 2 layers of Spikes meant the Altaria was dead, right? So he had to spin it away if he wanted to keep the Altaria. In comes the Amoonguss. I decided to click Hidden Power Fire, just to see how much it would do, but he is pretty bulky and clicks Clear Smog, so good prep by him. I decided to just click Glare to para him as he clicks Spore, and now clicks in as he clicks Clear Smog again. And I was like, okay, this is not really a good battle for me, so I just go into Zapdos as he clicks Synthesis, and I just use this to roost up as he stays in and gets fully paired, so unfortunate for him. And I click Heat Wave now as he clicks Spore. So I guess the pair was unfortunate because he would know it was safety goggles there. So I guess he would click Sludge Bomb or Switch on this turn. So I guess, yeah, a little unfortunate for him positioning wise. I'm able to Heat Wave and do a ton of damage, and here I clicked Volt Switch. In hindsight, maybe this is not the best play. I should have just clicked Heat Wave again. But what I was worried about was him sacking Magnezone, because not really doing anything here, I feel. And going Altaria and roosting up, and because I'd lost my Rhyperior, I was a little worried about that. Although I guess I could Thunder Wave it, but he can go Lando on the T-Wave, right? So he would be able to heal up his Altaria, and that would obviously be scary. So I don't want him to do that. So I click Volt Switch here expecting the Magnezone, but he goes into Lando, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So this time I'm just going to Serp, as he clicks the edge and gets the crit, and I lose my Serp. I guess it makes up for the para, I think, because, you know, we saw the Stone Edge only did 40, so the crit definitely mattered. And I would be able to synth up and keep it healthy again for this. But not the end of the world. I'm just going to Lopunny now, and I click Ice Punch. As he goes into Magnezone, So here I click return because I am faster than Magnezone because I'm creeping Weavile. As he goes into the Amoonguss, and that does 57, so oh, I can just... I believe I clicked Ice Punch expecting the Lando pivot for Intimidate. But he makes the Magnezone pivot, so I just click Ice Punch again in case the Lando comes in. So I'm able to take it out, and in comes the Weavile, so I go into my Klefki as he doubles into Amoonguss, so I go back into my Zapdos as he gets parried, so I'm forward for him. And here I believe I clicked the HP Ice. Yeah, I clicked the HP Ice predicting the Lando, and I'm able to nail him. And the Lando is dead, which is really good, because now he doesn't have a Volt Switch resist. In comes the Weavile, so I go back into Klefki as he clicks Low Kick, predicting the Kyurem, and takes more Helmet Chip. So I spike up here as the Altaria gets in before I can spike. So here I click Dazzle, and it does 42. In case you wanted to Earthquake or whatever, I thought Dazzle was better. But now I para him as he roosts. So I was like, okay, now this is not a threat, so I can just Dazzle him as he gets fully paired, because Gen 6 para. And I'm able to Dazzle and take him out again. In comes the Amoonguss, and I just go into Zapdos, which should beat this because he can't Spore me, and I have Roost. So I just click Heat Wave, which does 46, and he gets fully paired. Don't think it mattered at this point, because Kyurem won, Zapdos won, and the Spike kills the Weavile. So yeah, GG, pretty clean. Nice 4-0 win. I mean, a little hacksy with that one turn, but I think overall we still had it. Once again, Kyurem is at full. A Lopunny is basically full. Klefki is pretty healthy, and Zapdos is full, so I don't think it mattered overall, but if it did, once again, sorry. But he did crit my Serp, I guess. It's even, right? I don't know. Anyway, we move on to round 3, where we're up against Mr. Fraud, who has a team of Mew, Rotom, Hippopotas, Togekiss, Mienshao, and Polion. This looks really weird, but he had to make a Zard and a Crook on his team. I'm not sure why they didn't come and why the little Pop-Tart is here, but maybe, maybe he's like Amel, and he just knows like some demons have a Hippo, right? Who knows? Anyway, for this one, we're starting off with Lopunny, which is once again double priority, return and Drain Punch. The double priority was for the Zard, I believe, just in case, he was in range. And then return hits everything, because his only resist is like Togekiss. Return hits everything. His only resist is Empoleon. I can Drain Punch that. Enough speed for... I think it was enough speed for Mienshao, because his team is really slow, right? Yeah, his fastest one is Mienshao. Next up, I have KYUREM-BLACK with another Chople Berry. The Chople Berry was for the Mienshao, which was a little annoying for my team to deal with. And once again, we have max special attack, Ice Beam, Earth Fire, Shadow Ball, and Roost. Enough speed for... what was this speed for? I think this speed was for Modest Togekiss, so we're running 260. Yeah, this hits 260, right? So yeah, Modest Togekiss. Shadow Ball just hits Mew the hardest. Earth Power hits the Charizard X super effectively and hits the Empoleon. Yeah, and then Ice Beam hits everything else. Next up, Serperior with Leftovers. Max special attack, enough speed for the Mienshao. Leaf Storm, Hidden Power Rock, Glare Substitute with Leftovers. Sub is so if his Togekiss is a switch, I can sub and then Leaf Storm behind it and then HP Rock. HP Rock hit the Zard and the Togekiss in one, which is pretty epic. Sub also covers like a T-Wave play from him, if he is T-Wave Togekiss. So I felt that was just really good with Leftovers especially. So yeah. Next up, Rocky Helmet, Rhyperior, pretty defensive. With Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Ice Punch, and Swords Dance. Once again, Earthquake plus Ice Punch hits his whole team super effectively. Rocks are good, and then SD just, because I didn't need another move. Maybe Dragon Tail, but, whatever. SD kind of circumvents like Wisp Zard, I guess. That's why I had it. Next up, Zapdos with the Charty Berry. Pretty defensive. A little bit of like a mixed defense, and we have Toxic, Discharge, Signal Beam, and Roost. Once again, Discharge plus Signal Beam hits his whole team, except actually, I guess, the Pop-Tart and the Zard. but we don't really hit the Zard anyway, so we didn't have coverage for it, so it's just Toxic and Static, hopefully. And Signal Beam hits the Mew, Rotom, and Crook, and then Discharge hits everything else, and once again, we want to get the paras. The Charty was for Crook and Mienshao, so you know, we can discharge the Mienshao and Signal Beam the Crook. And then we have Klefki with, once again, Mix Pidef. Both of these are kind of meant to take on Togekiss as well, especially with like Rhyperior with them, like, you know, for a flinching Togekiss. And we're running Dazzle, Thunder Wave, Spikes, and Magnetize. The Magnetize is so that the Crook can touch us, basically. Dazzle just stab, Spikes because Spikes are good, and Thunder Wave just to check the Zard, the setup Mew, Mienshao, whatever. His only removal is Mew and Empoleon Defog, so he can't really hazard stack us if he wants to keep the rocks off for Zard. But he didn't bring the Zard, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. He leaves the Mew as I lead KYUREM-BLACK once again. I click Shadow Ball here, as I am faster, so he's probably like max HP. Just like bulky Mew for like the Lop, which makes sense if he wants the Togekiss to check Surf. Definitely makes sense. I click Shadow Ball, but it doesn't do a lot, so he is not fully Fistef. He definitely has some Spidef too, which is interesting to note. But which meant my return would do a lot to this, so I was like, okay, that's good to note. As he clicks the Wisp and burns us, but it doesn't matter because it's special. Here I go into Zapdos predicting the Roost. As he does click Roost, so I can now click off my Toxic because he's not going Empoleon on a Zapdos. So I'm able to click Toxic as the Pop Tart comes in. Here, expecting Rocks are going to Rhyperior to trade Rocks as he clicks Toxic, which is fair enough. Now I click Rocks thinking he'll click Rocks, but he goes into Rotom, so I was like, okay, cool. Here I can just go into Zapdos. Rotom can't really do much other than like Volt Switch out and get momentum, but like his team, it seems so weak into Zapdos. I was like, I don't know what you even Volt Switch into, right? I mean, he clicks HP Ice and it doesn't do anything, so I'm able to just click Toxic here as he Volts now. Brings us down to 50%, but he goes into Hippo once again, which allows us to Roost, right? So I was like, okay. I don't think this hits as hard, but he does click Earthquake and does do half. But I was like, okay, it's not the end of the world. I would just click Roost again. I think he clicked Toxic now. Yeah, so he clicks Toxic, but I was like, okay. I'm like not really sure what's happening because I expected Rocks on this Hippo, but you know, it's not happening. He clicks Earthquake again as I go into KYUREM, and I just click Ice Beam to take him out. I guess I clicked Roost there because he was gonna die to Toxic anyway, but yeah, maybe I should have clicked Roost there. Anyways, I go into Zapdos expecting the fighting move on my KYUREM as he clicks the Rock Slide and misses, so a little unfortunate for him because he would have popped my Charty right there. So now I double into Klefki. Oh, actually, I don't need to double into Klefki because I still have my Charty intact, so I click Discharge, it's going to Rotom. Here I decide to just click Signal Beam, and it does 52. And I do get the confusion, which sucks for him because he doesn't get his Volt Switch off, so I'm able to again Signal Beam again, I think. Oh, I Roost now to be healthy, as in comes the Mienshao. And because the Toxic damage is racking up, I go into Klefki because you're not clicking Fighting Move versus Zapdos as he clicks a Rock Slide again, which is fine. Here I can click Spikes, as in comes the Mew, which is fine as I click Spikes again. As it reveals to be U-turn Mew and goes into Togekiss, which is fine. I think I just T-Wave this. Yeah, I T-Wave this is, I believe. As the Togekiss clicks Nasty Plots, I was like, oh, okay. Getting the para on this was good then. He's not Lump, which is good. And here I decided to just go into Rhyperior and try an Ice Punch, but he clicks HP and it was super effective. So I'm guessing he's HP Ground? I'm not sure. But here I click Ice Punch, but he swaps into Rotom, so I'm able to take him out, as I do die as well on the double down. Here I believe I go into Lopunny, yep, as the Mew comes in. Here I decide to just get my Mega off so I can be faster. And also because Fake Out into Return takes out the Mew, because he's not Max Fistef. So I'm able to do that, get rid of the Mew. In comes the Mienshao. He's probably gonna click High Jump Kick, so I just go into Zapdos, hoping for the Static. He doesn't get it, but he goes for it again. And he gets the Static Para, which is cool now because I can go into my lop and just click return and take him out. In comes the Togekiss. I was like, okay, I can just return and take this out as well, which I do. And I just Rain Punch here. I guess I could have lost if he was weakness policy, but I would also have to miss Thunder Wave, so I was like, I should be able to like Drain Punch. Also, if he's weakness policy, he also needs to agility, which means I can swap out and keep my fake out and like quick attack as well. So yeah, I just clicked Drain Punch, but he was like, he died, so like, I guess he was offensive or Spadef, I don't know. But yeah, that's the game. Another 4-0 win. Once again, a little hacksy versus the Mian Xiao, but if the Zapdos died without static, I could have gone to Klefki and T-Wave him as well. Right? So I guess, unless I missed T-Wave a couple of times, I think I still had it. I don't remember if there's... Oh, in the Rotom turn, I guess as well was really bad for him because he lost momentum, but I feel like Steam was passive, so I don't know if that really like it would have changed the difference. It would have changed how the end game goes. I don't know. Once again, I got really lucky, right? I'm lucky at that. What can you do? Yeah, time to jump into round 4, which is against Snowflakes, who is the person who took the first pick Clefable in my pool, and which I really wanted, right? So it's time for revenge. Anyway, I'm just kidding. They have a team of Clefable, Heatran, Latias, Mega Venusaur, Gliscor, and Talonflame. Pretty scary, but like pretty bulky, stally team looking. I don't know. Anyway, for this, we're running our Retaliate, Last Resort, Mega Lop, because I don't think the Heatran's gonna stay in on the Lop, and there's no Flame Body Heatran, I think, right? So I can just Retaliate, Last Resort, and it still does a ton. This combo was just to take out like Clef and bulky Latias, because otherwise I don't lead again, I take too much helmet damage. But this, if after my command dies, Retaliate into Last Resort should take out any Clef or Latias, which is really good. Next up, I have an Expert Belt KYUREM with max pressure attack, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, Roost. What's the speed for? The speed was for modest Heatran, so I think I'm hitting 254, and the rest is just in bulk. If he is Fist F Clefable for the Lopunny or for like physical KYUREM, Ice Beam into Flash Cannon should take it out, even if he's leftovers. So that was the plan anyway with the Expert Belt. Next up, we have Zapdos with the Rocky Helmet, really Fist F. This is our Talonflame check with Static as well to get the pair on it, hopefully. And it's also a Gliscor check because I think Gliscor can't really beat this. Hidden Power Ice was for the Gliscor, Discharge for everything else, U-Turn on the Lottie and stuff, and Roost for longevity. Pretty standard Zapdos set. Next up, I have a very Spadef Rhyperior with Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Facade, and Rock Blast. Facade was just for, you know, burns or whatever, like Wisp, Talon, or Toxic or whatever. So Facade covers that. Rocks, because rocks are good. Rock Blast for like Charty, Talonflame or whatever. And then Earthquake, because, you know, Earthquakes kills the Heatran. Next up, Klefki with Max Spadef, Spikes, Thunder Wave, Play Rough, and Heal Block. Spikes, because Spikes are good. Thunder Wave just to keep like the Talonflame in check, the Latias, Clef, whatever, Heatran's stuff in check. Sorry, Play Rough to hit the Latias harder, especially if he's Combined. Like Play Rough does more than Dazzle. And Heal Block in case he is Reflect type Latias and tries to Combine. We can Heal Block and block his recovery, going to our next one, Wartortle, and haze the boost away, and then Seismic Toss as he can't recover, and 2 Seismic Toss should take it out, depending on where he's at. And I believe Heal Block works for 5 turns, so I should be able to Seismic Toss him 3 times and take him out, I think. Anyway, the next one is very Spadef Wartortle with a Twilight, and we're running Haze, Rapid Spin, Seismic Toss, and Rest. This is a Heatran check because we don't really have one. Rapid Spin to get rid of like hazards, which is just rocks, I think. Seismic Toss is just consistent 100 damage and it doesn't have resist. And then Rest was just in case we get it. And then, you know, 2 turns of Rest is whatever, especially if you get it on like Heatran or whatever. So yeah. Once again, I think I was just gonna lead, no, this time I was gonna lead Zapdos because I thought I led really good into everything. I can U-turn on Venusaur, Latias. Maybe not on Latias because in case he's weakness policy, but I can U-turn on like pretty much everything else or HP Ice or Discharge. He leaves Talonflame, or sorry, they leave Talonflame, which is perfect, right? So I can just U-turn here. I'll be slower than the Talon. They do click U-turn with Talon, get immediately static. I'm not gonna say sorry for this because this is a terrible play. I don't know why you would U-turn right away into a Zapdos turn 1 when you know it's static because pressure didn't go off. Hard switch is just better, right? Especially when the Zapdos is most likely gonna click U-turn or Volt or Discharge, and there's a free Gliscor or Latias. So I'm not gonna apologize for this. As I just click U-turn as the Mega Venusaur comes in, I can just go into KYUREM. Terravolt ignores Thick Fat, so I can just fire off the freest Ice Beam. As he does decide to stay, and he doesn't live still, which is interesting, but look at how ugly Mega Venusaur is. It should have died. Oh my god. This is also one of my too ugly to draft mons. Anyway, he's able to live Sludge Bomb and he doesn't get the poison, so that's good for us. I decided to just click Ice Beam again. I thought about making a read and clicking Earth Power, predicting Heatran, but I didn't really need to because I could just Earth Power right after. In comes the Clef and I get the freeze. Ice Beam does do 45, so he reveals to be Fist Staff at least. He also reveals Leftovers, which means we're faster. Now, I don't know if they would change their play if the freeze didn't happen, if they would scout for Flash Cannon, or they think like I'm Specs or something, like Timid Specs or, you know, Modest Scarf Ice Beam. I don't know, because they do stay in this turn as I click Flash Cannon and take it out. As I said, I had EV'd for this. I don't know if the freeze changed the play. I don't know if they would have gone into Heatran to scout. If the freeze changed the play, I'm sorry. If it didn't, then it didn't matter, right? I think that's a fair way of putting it. Anyway, turn putting in work as usual. In comes the Latias, so just go Klefki. As he drops the Draco. Yeah, which is perfect because I can just spike up here. As in comes the Talon. And I go into Rhyperior now as they click Flare Blitz. Get a crit, doesn't really matter. I can just rocks up here as they swap into Gliscor. Which reveals to be Toxic Orb, so presumably Poison Heal, which means they're not Defog, which is really good because that means Rocks plus Spikes are up, so the only removal is still Latias, but, you know, Latias will have to click Defog at some point. Again, my KYUREM, as the Gliscor goes for Rocks, which is fine, I can fire off another free Ice Beam. As in comes the Talon and gets sacked, which is cool. In comes the Latias, I can just go Klefki again. As another Draco comes, which is perfect, so I believe I clicked Thunderwave, or did I click another Spikes? Oh, I double into War Turtle expecting Heatran, but the Latias clicks Defog, which is fine. As I go back into Klefki, as he double into Heatran, so, you know, good play by them. In comes Flame Charge, I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. I clicked Earthquake because, you know, I didn't really need the Rhyperior because the Talonflame was dead. As in comes the Gliscor, so I can go back into... No, I decided to get up my Rocks first because Rocks are good, and now I switch into KYUREM, expecting their Rocks. As they click Knock again, which is fine, I can roost up here to be healthier, as predicting the Venusaur sack as well. I'm able to roost up and get back to a good amount of health. In comes the Latias, and I can just go back into my Klefki as they pull a double into Heatran again, so good play by them. But at this point, I'm so ahead, I don't really need to take risks, so I just go into my War Turtle and eat the Flamethrower. I can Seismic Toss again as the Duravial Rocks, so they're double Rocks, which is cool. I can just Rapid Spin here though. Get rid of those Rocks, and comes the Gliscor, and I can go back into my KYUREM. As the click Knock off, and it does nothing, and I can now Ice Beam again and take out the Gliscor. In comes the Heatran. I just Earth Power this, thinking I'd be faster, but they are faster. And Flash Cannon to, but again, Flash Cannon doesn't kill, right? See, this is the beauty of KYUREM. It's so bulky. I'm able to Earth Power and take him out. In comes the Latias, and at this point I decided to just preserve the 6-0. and go into my clef key as the click Ice Beam, and reveals to be Life Orb, which I guess they had until now, right? Yeah. And I just click Play Rough as they try to click Healing Wish. But yeah, the game was over at this point, 6-0. The Clefable freeze was big, but if they would have stayed in anyway, then it didn't matter. But if not for the freeze, they would have scouted, then obviously my bad. And obviously it was big because, you know, Clef is one of the best mons in ORAS, and getting rid of it like turn 2 or 3 is really big. So yeah, but big 6-0 win, and we are now in round 5, or like top 32, I think, where we are up against Happygate, who has a team of Mega Lopunny, Zapdos, so a Mirror, Latias, Crocodile, Ferrothorn, Simisear, and then there's something else on this team which was like really scary in prep. Oh, it was a Tentacruel for like spin. Okay, that's not scary in prep, but just there was a Tentacruel with T-Spikes, and a Clefairy. Right. Pretty scary team. It is a mirror, so it's definitely gonna be annoying. But let's jump into our team for this. Starting off, we're running Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly, Lopunny to speed tie their Lop. Fake Out, Drain Punch, Return, Healing Wish. Fake Out's just priority in general. Return hits everything except the Ferrothorn, which we have Drain Punch for. And then Healing Wish to bring back KYUREM, most likely. Next up, Zapdos with the Rocky Helmet. We're pressure this time just because of the threat of T-Spikes, Spikes, and Rocks. I was like, I need my Defog just in case. And we're max HP, max defense, Rocky Helmet for this is a lob check basically, but we're not static, so it's not the best check. But if they're not retaliating to return, I think we should be okay. Anyways, Discharge, U-turn, Roost, Defog, and we're relaxed with 0 speed because we want to be slower U-turn compared to their Zapdos. So yeah, Discharge, U-turn, Roost, Defog, pretty standard Zapdos. Next up, we have KYUREM with Choppleberry and Brave Nature, because again, we don't really need the speed. KYUREM's slower than everything anyway. Ice Beam, Dragon Claw, Roost, and him Power Fire. Last time I played the Ferrothorn, I didn't run HP Fire, but this time I felt if there's more Speed F Ferrothorn, because I've been running a lot of special KYUREM, because I've not really shown HP Fire unless I play Scizor, so I was like, I probably want to snipe the Ferrothorn if I can. Ice Beam hits everything pretty hard otherwise, and Dragon Claw is just for like the Tentacruel, which otherwise would wall this, and then Roost for longevity. So yeah, and again, pretty bulky. The Chopple was for the Lopunny, and then Dragon Claw hit it hardest, so that's what I went for. Next up, I have a Serp with Lumberry, and Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, Hidden Power Fire, and Toxic. I was initially AV because I wanted to Leaf Storm and not get forced out by Latias or Zapdos or Tentacruel, and just stay in and like Leaf Storm again or Dragon Pulse or Hidden Power Fire. But then I thought Lumberry's maybe better in case the Ferrothorn's to switch in and it tries to like T-Wave. Then, you know, the Lum will take care of that. So I just put Toxic on just to get Toxic on the Zapdos or Latias. So yeah, otherwise pretty much enough speed for the Latias, and yeah. Next up, mixed defense Klefki this time. Just because I might need to swap it on like Lopunny as well at some point, so I put defense as well. Spikes, Heal, Block, Play Rough, and Reflect. So pretty similar to the last game, but I dropped Thunder Wave for Reflect because I felt pretty weak to Lopunny, so I thought Reflect would help mitigate that. But same reason as before, Spikes are good because ORAS. Heal, Block in case it is Reflect type Latias, so we want to stop it from being able to Reflect type Combine and Heal. We want to keep it low if possible so that we can beat it. Play Rough again, if it's not Reflect type Latias, Play Rough does more than Dazzle. And yeah, and Reflect is just once again full up. And next up we have Leftovers, Speed F Rhyperior with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Sword Stance. Does really good. She doesn't really have a lot of resist for this Rhyperior. Earthquake plus Ice Punch hits everything. Spit F because we should be able to check Zapdos. If they have HP Water or HP Grass for Rhyperior, then claps them, but I don't think you run it in this matchup. But yeah, let's jump into it. Once again, I was going to leave KYUREM because look at KYUREM and look at this like team, right? KYUREM just goes in. So yeah, I decided to leave KYUREM. In comes the Intimidate. I am slower as expected, so I was like, fine, but I just clicked my Ice Beam, right? I click Ice Beam and get another freeze right away. But I click HP Fire now, which I would have anyway, even if I didn't get the freeze, right? But did Thaw, which is good, so like the freeze didn't matter, and click Leech, which is a little annoying. In here, just they got out of range of Ice Beam, so I thought they might swap on the HP Fire. So I go Surf, but they make the play into Simisear, which is, I mean, really good double, because I guess if you Ice Beam or HP Fire, it eats both. So yeah, really good play by my opponent there. But here, I was just like, okay, in case, you know, they get greedy and click Nasty Play, I want to get a Toxic off on this, if possible. So I click Toxic. As the Flamethrower comes in, we're able to eat, so that Spit F paid off. And I just Leaf Storm to like get chip on this, because I don't really have a switch in, as the Fire types are kind of tough versus my team. But now I can go into Lop. I am faster because I'm running Jolly, so I decided to stay in regular and just click Fake Out. This was because if the Zapdos comes in and it's static, because I keep my Limber pre-Mega, I will not get paired. So I clicked the oh sorry, I clicked Return. Well, I didn't have reason to click Fake Out. But the Ferrothorn comes in and used to be Helmet Burbs, which is a little annoying. But I just clicked Drain Punch now to heal back a little bit, but I still end up like half health, which is a little annoying. Not the end of the world. In comes the Latias now, and I go into Klefki, which is my dedicated switch, as the Reflect type does come in. So I was like, okay, cool. Here I go into Zapdos because Steel Fire does not resist Discharge, right? So I was like, I can Discharge once and try to get Para in case it is Combine. As she clicks Earthquake, which is fine, and in comes the Ice Beam now, and reduce to be Life Orb because that had a lot of damage. And to get the freeze, a little annoying because I was gonna get a Discharge off here, which would have been pretty big. But I was like, okay, cool, not the end of the world. I unfortunately don't have the opportunity to try and Thaw because the next Ice Beam would kill me, so I go into Klefki and chew the Ice Beam, which is fine, and I can click Reflect and take this Earthquake on a little better. So yeah, as you see, it only does 30%, so I was like, okay, now I can Spike Up because it takes 3 Earthquakes to kill me, so I can Spike Up once and then click Heal Block to keep this like low. But to click Earthquake and get the crit through Reflect, which means the Klefki is dead, and that really sucks, right? Because obviously that Earthquake did 31 and we had leftovers, so we were not 2 more Earthquakes, we still lived, and then we could Heal Block and get up like more spikes, right? Which forces the defog, because obviously this ladder is probably not defog. So I was like, okay, that's a little unfortunate, and you know, I was getting tilted because like basically last week I played a finals of my some Wi-Fi league where I got hacks to hell, missed like 2 C flares, got a crit on my Shaman, which walled the entire team, and then got crit on my setup Zam as well. So it's like, you know, it's been really tilting luck-wise recently. So I was getting tilted, I was trying not to tilt, but I go into Lop and I click Fake Out. And I was like, okay, hopefully this is enough to kill with Drain Punch. And I clicked Drain Punch into 48. So again, it's some kind of roll. I was like, man, I'm gonna lose to this Latias, but luckily get a crit. So I guess a little lucky there. I was really complaining at this point, so I guess, you know, the hacks gods or whatever hurt me and gave me a crit. But I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I still have a shot. In comes the Crook. And I just go with Zapdos because he's, she's clicking either Rocks knockoff. Well, knockoff would be like a prediction, and if you get it wrong, then your crook would be dead. So I guess it was either earthquake, superpower, or rocks. Aggressive rocks, I think, makes more sense. So it just goes Zapdos. As in comes to superpowers, I'm able to get what do you call it? Rocky on a chip, and then try to thaw my Zapdos and click Roost, but I don't get the turn 1 thaw like my opponent, which is annoying. Because obviously, if I rest up, recover here, oof. Because this would be in Blaze. I would have to calc how much it did if I could Roost spam or not. But obviously, having the ground immunity would be pretty cool, right? So, not sure, but I'm not able to thaw, so I just sack it off to the Simisear, which used to be Salak. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I have to go into Lop, because the Simisear was not Gluttony, right? So it was Blaze, so I didn't want to take a Blaze Flamethrower with Kyurem. So I click Fake Out as to go Zapdos. I do get a crit, but again, that crit on a Fake Out doesn't matter. I probably need a crit on the return, right? And they're also Helmet and Pressure, so Defog. And I go into Rhyperior, is they make a really good play and double into Crook. But I was like, okay, Rhyperior should not die to Crook, right? So I just click Rocks first to get like more chip on stuff. As the Crook clicks Earthquake and does a lot. But I was like, okay, I can just click Ice Punch now. I click Ice Punch, and I believe that's the absolute mineral. It could be bulkier, but I'm still pretty sure that's on the lower end, if not an absolute mineral. So definitely being super unlucky here, because if you get 1% more, that Crook's dead to rocks plus spikes unless they get a defog off. So once again, really unlucky. But basically the point there is I can go Lop and prevent the defog. Can I prevent the defog? I don't know. I don't know how much return would do, because Fake Out did what? Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe return would not kill. I don't think it kills actually, so maybe they would get the defog off. I go into Lop and I click Fake Out because I didn't want to take the Earthquake. As the sack Simisear, which is the correct play. In comes Crook again and is able to live on 1%, which is a little, you know, once again, basically, if I had done 1% more, this was not a play. You're forced into Zapdos, which I guess gave me my Kyurem still, right? Because if you're forced to defog, I think, so I can go Kyurem and Ice Beam. And Ice Beam will get a kill, so the Zapdos will be dead. And then I still have my Chople intact, so I get another kill. And then have Lopunny. Well, Lopunny might need to win a speed tie in that case. Or, well, I would have Fake Out if... Yeah, depending on what was Revenge with, I would have Fake Out for the Crook. Or I would need to win a speed tie with my Lop. Right? I think that would be what it comes down to. Anyway, because the Crook lives, it's able to superpower and take me out. Which is unfortunate, and it is going to be able to pop my Chople right here. But I decided to click Roost to try and stay as healthy as I can. But my opponent makes a really good play here. Like, despite all the hacks and stuff, this is a really good play because if I don't click Ice Beam to kill the Crook, you get to defog and have 2 shots, have a guaranteed way of winning, because now you keep your Scarf superpower as well as the high jump kick. So really good play by my opponent there. I was just spamming Roost to waste the superpowers to try and stay as healthy as I can. And then because I'm brave, this Zapdos faster. I mean, could have been faster anyway. I don't know how much speed it ran. But I'm able to Ice Beam and take it out. The crit did not matter. So I was getting crits on the things that didn't matter, which is really annoying. In comes Lop, clicks Fake Out. And I was like, okay, my only way of winning at this point was high jump kick miss, which is what I go for, but they connect and crit. I don't think it mattered. I think I died anyway, even though I was bulky. But yeah, really hacksy game. And I haven't really reviewed it because I was tilted at the time. So I don't know if I misplayed necessarily. Here, I was gonna click HP Fire even without the freeze, so I think this is fine because I expected Rocks or T-Wave or something would come out, Leech, I guess. I don't know if I should have stayed in with KYUREM here. Or if there was a better play than Surf? I don't think there was a better play than Surf. Maybe Zapdos would be a better play? I don't know. I guess Zapdos could be a play because I could just U-turn slowly into Lop on the Simisear. Although I would have to take a Flamethrower from this, but unboosted I don't think it would do as much maybe. Sacking the Syrup was fine. Yeah, I think this freeze was definitely annoying because I do get a discharge off here and then go back into my Klefki. And I can heal block later if needed, can also reflect. Yeah, I think this sequence here definitely put me back a lot because I could get more spikes up. I could heal block this as well so that the Drain Punch crit would not matter. But basically, I think if I didn't get the Drain Punch crit, I think I just lose to this, right? Well, I guess the moment I knew it was Roost, I could go KYUREM, but yeah, that crit helped. I guess I didn't need to risk that. I should have just gone KYUREM. But obviously that Drain Punch crit helped me get healthy on my Lops. I guess it was good in that way. But yeah, that's the end of our run. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed using KYUREM-BLACK a lot. I feel like it put in so much work. It got so many kills, put so much pressure. Zapdos was once again phenomenal. One of the best pivots in ORAS. When it's not getting frozen, that is. I didn't really get to click Healing Wish a lot, even though I brought it so many times. So maybe I misplayed there. Actually, should I have used Healing Wish in this game to bring back Zapdos? Maybe that was my way out, if I Healing Wished my... I haven't reviewed this since, I'm just recording right away. So it's like live analysis of where I could have played better. Maybe that could have won me the game, because Zapdos does beat Lop plus Crook. But it wouldn't beat the Zapdos, so I would need to make sure the KYUREM gets the kill there. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I should have Healing Wished the Zapdos, I don't know. I was tilted. I was really tilted, so I didn't play optimally at the end, but... good luck to my opponent. Also want to mention, my opponent was really nice, so I definitely felt bad for being a little salty. It's not the worst, I just said GG I guess, but you know, I should have just said GG, it's like Mons, it's nobody's fault. Hacks happens. I was just tilted because of another finals this week. But yeah, good luck to my opponent in future rounds, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And this will be our last video for a bit because I don't have any more Mons commitment for a while. I'm not uploading any more DPL games. That was the only one I was because it was pretty cool. I didn't have any cool prep in the other ones. Yeah, I didn't get into USAM Cup and I didn't sign up for Swish. And I will not be making Classic because I don't think I have enough points. Yeah, I think this is going to be it for a while, but unless I decide to upload my Wi-Fi league, but I need someone to record the videos, so I don't know if I'll do that. Maybe I will, I don't know, we'll see if I get bored. Anyways, thanks and have a nice day, bye!